terror in the heart of Paris. Terrifying moment, terrorist strike in the heart of Paris.
It is noon in Paris. We have avenged the Prophet Muhammad, they shout. Men who seek to deny the right to free speech and Western values.
After the tragic events in Paris in January, the debate over freedom of speech arose, with many countries aiming to limit freedom of speech. However, censorship has been prevalent in recent years within universities. Speakers who have been labelled controversial or had unpopular views have been banned from university campuses because of protests.
I think it's weird when atheists call their kid Christian. I think a much better choice would be Godfrey.
Spiked, an online current affairs magazine, created their own project, Free Speech University Rankings.
My name's Tom Slater and I'm assistant editor at Spiked as well as coordinator of the Free Speech University Rankings. To create an institutional challenge to both universities and student unions to say, hey, there's someone who is checking up for this sort of thing, and you better mend your ways, otherwise, prospective students, in the same way that they look at other university rankings, might look at it and say, hey, I want to go to university, I want to get involved in debate and discussion and student politics, and it may well work as a disincentive in that sense. So it was important for us to make that institutional challenge. One thing that we found was that whilst it was obviously very widespread and there were a lot of students who were agitating against it, there was really no kind of weight of evidence to A, show the outside world this was going on, but also to kind of tool up students with the information they needed to really take this on. So it stemmed out of that. We decided to offer the first assessment of UK universities for free speech, ranking all of them via red, amber or green in terms of their approach. And it launched this month, proving that, according to our findings, that 80% of UK universities censor speech to some degree. Superficially, it's very clear that student unions are at the forefront of this. When you kind of strip them apart, separate institutions, SUs tend to be about 5 times more censorious in terms of their policies and actions than universities. A long time ago it was very much extremists that were being banned from campus. It was the far right, it was Islamist kind of jihadi nut jobs, which was the focus of it. And that's something that we obviously took on and made the point that if you're going to be for free speech, you have to be consistent. But nevertheless, the spread of it, the way in which it was, perhaps more views considered reasonable or considered perhaps quite popular on campus, from atheist societies at obviously London South Bank through to now feminists with the Cambridge Union trying to block Germaine Greer.
I suppose I ought to confess that I have been a pornographer, completely failed, wanted to replace the agenda of screw with a non-sadistic agenda of suck.
It made it clear something that we've been saying for a long time, which was that as soon as you justify censorship in one realm, it will soon spread. It's something that we've always been obviously involved in, and you always have to make the case for it, even in terms of those extremists and those far-right nutcases. But it showed us that it was widespread enough that it was time to really do this survey to show how far things have gotten in the hope of pulling things back. Even though the debate has gotten quite catty, it's stirred up debate more than trying to get us to block anything. And that, in the long run, can only be a good thing.